Welcome to the Crossroads, where we honor the duality of life, embracing the darkness, and loving the light. Together we'll explore spiritual philosophy, mythology, shamanic practices, witchcraft, and more. Join me as we journey through the mysteries of life, death, and everything in between. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and not professional advice. Please use your own discretion and enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to the Crossroads. My name is Angela Rajnigandha. I am your host and author of Arcana Apothecary magazine. So in today's episode, I want to talk about what it actually means to have an authentic spiritual and witchcraft-based practice. Now, witchcraft has been practiced in one form or another for as long as humanity's been around, and it has never been kind of a one-size-fits-all thing. But witchcraft at its core has always been about connection to the earth, to nature, to the universe, to the divine, and to yourself. But I see a lot of people getting really hung up on the way they think their practice should look. We live in a time when information is everywhere. You can watch thousands of videos and read hundreds of books, and you'll see it in your social media feeds. And a lot of this makes us feel like our practice isn't good enough or that we just aren't doing it right. And I see this play out in a few different ways. People tend to fall into these traps. The first being trying too hard to be historically accurate or authentic. And number two is trying to look witchy, trying to look the part, yourself and your practice. And number three is thinking you need all the fancy, expensive tools to have a powerful practice. And sometimes these same traps can lead us to judge others for not following these same rules that we've convinced ourselves exist. So today I want to break down some of these traps and explore the judgment that comes along with them. And I'll give you a bit of a roadmap to create a practice that is authentically you. So trap number one, historical accuracy. This trap revolves around the obsession with whether or not a practice is historically accurate, yours or someone else's. And it usually comes from a good place. Many people enter witchcraft through books and classes or research, discovering old folk practices or Celtic paganism, Norse mythology, hoodoo, ancient Egyptian magic. And sometimes people feel this pressure to practice exactly as people did hundreds of years ago, or even thousands of years ago, thinking that this is what you need to do to unlock some sort of ancient magic. But trying to replicate the past is completely impractical. Life has changed and our needs have changed. Witchcraft has always been practical. It was about using what was on hand to solve problems and protect the family or connect to the divine. And people would use everyday items what they could easily access. But what was common back then may not be common now. We don't have easy access to the same materials or things that they once did. And nothing in your practice should feel like some sort of reenactment. Being a modern witch means adapting rituals and spells and tools to fit into your world, your modern life. And it means blending old wisdom with new circumstances. But it is great to draw on inspiration from the past, bringing practical aspects of it into your life, like slowing down or spending more time in nature, observing the changing of the seasons, the cycles of the moon, and just how people lived more simply back then. But don't beat yourself up if your practice doesn't look like some sort of perfectly reconstructed ancient ritual. You don't need to do all that. If it's not practical for you to grow your own herbs or to make your own candles, or you'd rather just buy these things at a metaphysical shop or even at Walmart or something, that's totally fine. And if you feel ridiculous trying to recite spells in Latin or something, and you feel more comfortable just speaking in your normal everyday language, that's great. Trying to replicate the past doesn't make something or someone's practice authentic. It's almost the opposite. What's authentic for you is what truly fits you and your life right now. And now trap number two, the witchy aesthetic. This one has gotten especially loud in the age of social media. There's this kind of image of the perfect Instagram witch who wears a lot of black and lace and wears a bunch of crystal jewelry and has beautiful altars and candles everywhere and tarot decks and their little velvet baggies, and you kind of know the look. And self-expression is great, and you'll see I wear a lot of black almost every day, and and I wear an ankh around my neck and an evil eye and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of into darker aesthetic, and that's just who I am. I've always been like that. And in the past, I've actually made attempts to dress in more colors and different styles, but it never stuck because that's just not authentically who I am. I would always go back to wearing my black and my dark colors. But what I'm talking about is the trying to look witchy and trying to make your practice look a certain way. And it tends to just be a little over the top and trying too hard. This is where the practice becomes performative. It's the pressure to make everything look Instagram worthy instead of just making it meaningful. And there's nothing wrong with kind of loving the vibe or the look. If you love wearing a big velvet cloak during rituals, then I think that's great. Wear it proudly. But you don't want to confuse the aesthetics with authenticity. Your practice doesn't need to look pretty, and neither does anyone else's. Judging others for not looking witchy enough or having the fancy tools and the fancy clothes or whatever is just projecting your own insecurities. And historically, witches didn't look witchy. They blended in. The power was never in the look. It was in the practice, in the intention behind it. And now trap number 3, the tools. It's so easy to get swept away in all the pretty crystals and the fancy tools and chalices and statues and all the shiny things that promise power and prestige. And people can become convinced that if they don't have the exact right tools, then they can't practice properly or their spells won't work. But the truth is that you just don't need any of that. You don't need to spend a fortune on the perfect tools to be a powerful witch or energy worker. The tools themselves don't hold any power. You hold the power. The tools only amplify and enhance your practice, and only if you decide they do. Your most powerful tools are you. It's your energy, your body, your breath, your voice, your intention, your emotions, your desires. This is what fuels your rituals, not the tools. Anything more than that is really just decoration or enhancement, which can be fun and even really helpful, but it's not essential. You can perform incredibly powerful work with half-burned birthday candles that you found in your kitchen drawer, or the stone that you picked up off the sidewalk when you're out on a walk, or an old chipped mug from your cupboard. But even that stuff you don't actually need. Don't let consumerism, perfectionism, and comparison convince you that you need anything other than yourself to be powerful. Everything you need is already within you. So let's talk about how to build a practice that is authentically you. Number 1 is learn, but don't copy. Study the traditions, read the folklore, watch, how others practice, and take inspiration, but not instruction. Only adopt what feels alive to you. If it doesn't spark something in your gut or in your heart, just let it go. Don't look for how you're supposed to do things. Do what feels right for you and for your life only. Number 2 is start with what you have. Your practice does not require fancy altars and expensive tools. Traditionally, like I said, witchcraft has always been done with what you've had on hand and what is readily available. See what you have around the house, or you can make things yourself first. Then if you want to go and buy something fun to enhance your practice, then you can do that. Number 3, create daily rituals. Your practice does not have to be big, showy, dramatic rituals. Authenticity lives in the little things, stirring intention into your morning coffee, setting your intentions for the day when you wake up in the morning, blessing your meals, and speaking gratitude before bed. These types of rituals, when done consistently, are really powerful. The small practices that you do in your everyday mean so much more than the great big showy rituals that you do once in a while just to have something fun to put on Instagram. Now, number 4, embracing your own symbols. You don't need to rely on some universal set of symbols that doesn't resonate. Maybe roses, for example, feel protective for you instead of loving, or maybe the color green doesn't feel abundant for you, but purple does. Use that. What matters is the meaning you give these things, not what anyone else says it should be. Number 5 is let it grow with you. Authenticity means evolution. What worked for you a year ago may not work for you now. Your practice will shift as you shift. Embrace these changes. If a practice worked well for you before but is now just feeling impractical, then it's time to let this go. Your practice needs to fit your life. Or maybe your belief systems have changed, and now using crystals just doesn't feel right for you. Then set them aside. Don't feel like changes like this are in any way a failure or a step backward. This is growth, and this is what evolution in your spiritual practice looks like. Number 6 is trust your intuition. If something calls to you, an herb, a symbol, a ritual, follow it. And then if it doesn't, leave it. Your intuition is your most powerful, authentic guide. Stop overthinking what others say you should do and just do whatever the hell you want. And number 7, connection without comparison. Community is valuable, but do not measure yourself against others. Learn, share, and support each other without judgment. Number 8, cut out the performance. And this is where we need to be brutally honest with ourselves and ask ourselves, am I doing this because it truly feeds my spirit and my practice, or am I doing this because I want to look a certain way? Let go of this need for perfection and approval and just focus on showing up fully and honestly and intentionally. Your connection is what matters, not the appearance of it. Your practice needs to be you. It needs to connect you to yourself, to your spirit, to the world around you. That's what makes it powerful. It isn't in the performance or in the tools. It's in the intention and in the honesty. It's the way you show up again and again in ways that are real and practical for you and for your life. So stop worrying about whether your practice is good enough or authentic enough or pretty enough. And instead ask yourself, does this feel right for me? Does this naturally fit my life? Is this true to myself? And with that, thank you for joining me today. If you enjoy this episode, please follow the podcast and check out Arcana Apothecary magazine, where I go even deeper into topics like this. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for joining me at The Crossroads. Visit me at arcanaapothecary.com and connect on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Remember, there's a time for love and light, and there's a time for raising hell. Until next time, I'll meet you at The Crossroads.